right, here we go again. Hope everybody's doing well. I am Dr. Heather Moore, owner of Total Performance Physical Therapy. Tonight we're talking about stretches for plantar fasciitis. First of all, let's talk about where the plantar is and what it does and why you want to stretch it. So, as most of you know, I'm a big foam rolling person. I believe in foam rolling, and I think that when you are talking about stretching, you need to complement it with foam rolling. So, before I get any comments about it, yes, I think you should have a golf ball or a BC ball underneath your plantar fascia before you actually stretch it out. However, let's talk about stretches. So plantar fasciitis is on the bottom of your foot, right here, on the bottom of your foot. Very common to wake up with pain in the bottom of your foot. That's the most often symptom people describe. That first step in the morning is painful. That is very good sign that you're dealing with plantar fasciitis. Could be dealing with also other things going on, but when people say that first step is really painful in that bottom of my foot, you're looking at a little bit of plantar fasciitis. Lots of times we see this in the summer because people are wearing flip-flops or bare feet, and that causes the foot to have to grip the ground a little bit more, and therefore causing that plantar fascia on the bottom of the foot to actually overwork and become inflamed and therefore develop plantar fasciitis. Also, if you don't have proper shoes, so if you are walking in flats and heels, or if you don't have the proper running shoe, you're working out and you're not working out in the proper type of shoe wear, you wind up getting plantar fasciitis. Anything that really stretches the bottom of your foot or puts the bottom of your foot on a repetitive motion can cause you plantar fasciitis. So you want to really watch, if you are experiencing any sort of foot pain, you want to watch the bottom, or you want to watch the footwear that you use. Really important, because you want to make sure that you are giving that plantar fascia the support you need, whether you need the arch support or whether you need the cushion, and that really depends on the type of shoe. As I've said in some of my other videos, you want to make sure you get to a running store to figure out exactly what shoe fits you best. And if you are experiencing plantar fasciitis symptoms, you really want to make sure that you are not wearing barefoot, flip-flops, heels, anything without support. So the plantar fascia, as we discussed, is on the bottom of the foot. Symptoms really are painful to walk, and the big symptom is that painful first step. Now, there's splints that you can wear at night. I'm not going to get into all of that. Some people swear by them. I'm not going to talk about any of that. We're just going to talk about some stretches you can do for your plantar fascia. So just like everything else that we talk about, you want to stretch everything around the plantar fascia too. So you don't just want to concentrate on the plantar fascia. You want to make sure that you are stretching everything around the plantar fascia. But the first stretch you want to do, and you can do these sitting, standing, it doesn't matter. You're going to find a wall, a chair, and you're going to put your toes up on it, and then you're going to slide down the wall so your toes are up against the wall and the ball of the foot is on the floor. It may not get that far because you may be in too much pain. Not a problem. All you want to do is stop where you feel a good stretch. You want to hold that 30 seconds, and then you want to do that 6 times. Again, you can do this throughout your day. This is really important. This is a good stretch for that plantar fascia. And then you want to get back to the heel, okay? You want to start stretching your calf. So you can do a calf stretch. You can start with your toes hanging off a step, or you can have one foot in front and lean forward. You want to make sure that your toes are pointing forward and that your heel stays flat on the floor. If you don't get a good stretch in this lunge position, again, prop your toes up on a step and then drop your heel off. You're going to feel a stretch coming up the back of your leg. As with anything, you never want to just stretch that one muscle. You want to make sure that you are foam rolling, that you are stretching everything around it, because it's really very hard to only tighten one muscle and leave all the rest of them alone. So make sure that you are stretching out everything. So on that note, the final stretch is you want to stretch the front of your foot. So you're going to curl your toes under, and you're just going to stretch the front of your foot. You can do this sitting down, standing up. Again, you're going to push it down to the points where you feel a good stretch, not pain. All right? Hold that 30 seconds. All these stretches, you want to hold 30 seconds, and you want to do 6 of those. But those are the 3 stretches that are really going to allow you to stretch out the plantar fascia and everything around it. Again, Don't neglect all the muscles around it, all the muscles that are coming into that foot, because otherwise you're going to stretch the plantar fascia, everything else is going to remain tight, and you're not really going to fix it. One of the things that you also can do is freeze a bottle of water and run underneath your foot. Great way to ice it. If you are dealing with active plantar fasciitis, meaning it really hurts, you want to make sure that you are doing everything you can to calm that inflammation down. And doing that ice, running that ice underneath the foot 15 minutes, 2 or 3 times a day can really help, as well as wearing proper shoes. Get the sneakers on, get the supportive shoes on, even around the house if you're suffering with those symptoms. If you or someone you know is suffering with plantar fasciitis and you want a free consultation with a doctor of physical therapy, all you have to do is call our office at 215-997-9898 and we'd be happy to get you in. Thanks and have a good night.